So I wanted to talk about the mental warfare that's going on at the moment between Devon and Levan and kind of express it as to the risk that each of these guys are facing and look at it from the perspective of, is this a kryptonite to either one of these two guys? Is the current mental warfare situation going to make one person suffer more than the other when it comes to preparation and their mindset and just their attitudes as they come to the sport, as they come to this match at King of the Table 4, sorry. And, it's, I had to really stop and think about it for a while and dig in a little deeper because traditionally Devon Larratt is the king of mind games. He's the king of mental warfare against just about every opponent he's ever faced in the WYL or anywhere. He's very resolute. He's very mentally tough. And he's very clever. He's very articulate with his words, very influential, and he seems impervious to his opponent's mind games. But, this circumstance is a little different. And, of course, Levan himself, he has, in a physical capacity, he has no reason to be afraid. Let's just be honest about that one. Levan has no reason to be afraid. In a physical capacity, Levan knows how strong he is within himself. And there's just no reason to be afraid. But that said, doubt creeps in. Doubt does creep in. So, for me, the kryptonite of these guys here with this whole situation, as you guys know, they've been arguing about the strap. They've been back and forth. The internet's gone crazy. Everyone is picking their side of the argument. Everyone's picking their side of the fence. People are calling people liars. People are discrediting history of people in the sport. People are saying the word cheat. People are saying all sorts of things about the circumstances at the moment. So there's a lot of intensity in the sport right now when it comes to this. And no matter who you are, you're human at the end of the day. So it's fair to say the pressure will mount on both of these gentlemen. The pressure will mount. And it's going to come in different forms, and the question is who's going to take it better. For Devon Larratt, I think that the kryptonite for Devon in all of this is frustration. I think Devon is at risk of becoming frustrated with the fans of the sport and frustrated with the situation. I think if Devon were to become genuinely frustrated, whether it be with Levan's comments specifically, the internet's comments, the fans' comments, someone's like myself's comments, there's a lot of people talking. If Devon was to become genuinely frustrated, I think that he could sour in his, let's just call it the mental aggression and the momentum that he's building and that he knows he needs to build. By the time he gets to the table, really, he needs to be in a Superman sort of mind frame. He needs to be in that hero state of play. He needs to be ready to give everything. The last thing he needs in his mind is frustration. But look, there would be a lot of frustration. Like I said, there's so much nonsense being spoken about at the moment. So much rubbish in a lot of respects. The amount of trolls out there at the moment that just post ridiculous, deliberate stuff simply to have their little moment in the sun because they know that it'll frustrate Devon Larratt fans. Oh my goodness. And that's on both sides of the fence. But there are so many of them at the moment. So frustration must be there. It must be there. I do think that is the kryptonite for Devon going to this. And he needs to, I think, make sure he keeps that at bay. I'm sure he's got a strategy for doing exactly that. I'm sure he's aware of it. How he deals with it will be interesting to see because if it does overwhelm him, it won't be the most effective Devon Larratt that turns up on the day. Now, on the other side of the fence, in respect to Levan, obviously Levan is subject to quite a number of pressures as well, mental pressures. Aside from the obvious one that he is just the favourite to win, therefore expectation is on his shoulders. He is someone who is allowing, I think, complacency to potentially creep in. And it's almost a peer-pressured complacency. I actually think that Levan respects Devon. I think he does. I think he respects Devon and actually does want to face him and genuinely considers him the next best in the world right now and genuinely wants to face just so he can solidify his own legacy. But Levan's at risk of hearing the noise too much. And the noise is saying it's a silly match. We've seen Levan play up to the noise, saying he'll let Devon use two hands. We've seen Levan, I guess, get roped into the whole strap thing, and he kind of put his foot in it, in the sense that there obviously was an indication in his contract that said there was a WAL agreement. So he's getting roped into an argument that he's probably not used to being involved in. He's not used to the internet coming alive so dramatically on his matches. Even though he has been in some of the biggest matches the world's ever seen, he's never been in this match against Devon. And like I said, complacency comes because there is such a spotlight on this match, and because the fans are so nuts on the internet in the way that they're just passionate and they ramp up their opinion and they're unfiltered and they say extreme things on both sides. Because of that, Levan hears an expectation that he can do it so easily. He hears an expectation that that he should be able to prevent Devon from slipping. He hears an expectation that even if it's in the straps, it'll be nothing. There's a lot of expectation. Now, of course, expectation is like poison to your preparation if the expectation is unrealistic. And as strong as Levan is, I think complacency, should it creep in his mind, because I'm not saying it's going to creep in his physical preparation. I believe Levan will be fine and consistent and do what he does. He's 415 pounds or 400 pounds or whatever he is at the moment. He's big. He's getting bigger. He's getting stronger all the time. That's not going to change. But it's the complacency of the mind that is truly the potential problem for Levan. If it does creep in, it can definitely be the kryptonite to the Georgian Hulk. All in all, this is a very unique situation with these guys. The pressures, the mental pressures they're under are very unique to the sport. More people are going to watch this match than I've ever watched an arm wrestling match before. More people will have their opinion on it. More people will commentate right up until the last moment about things like the rules. Accusations will be made. Mocking comments will be said. There'll be lots. And by the time you get to the ready go, there will be, I think, genuine tension there. I expect these gentlemen to respect each other wholeheartedly, and I think that they'll do absolutely that. But there will be tension there between the two of them because of all of this build-up. And when that tension arrives, who handles it best will have a significant enhancement of their physical ability on the day. So, for the first time in my observations as an arm wrestling fan, viewer, commentator, whatever you want to call it, I actually see it evenly balanced. I'd usually say Devon is in charge. I'd usually say Devon is winning the mind games. But in this circumstance, I'm not convinced either one is winning at the moment. I'm convinced more so that there is this even balance, and it could go either way. And it really ultimately depends on who handles their kryptonite better. Is it Devon and his frustration, or Levan and his complacency that is the bigger risk or the more powerful mental situation at the moment? It's full on. But either way, ladies and gents, I'd love to know what you think about this match, the complacencies that these guys are facing, or the mental pressures that these guys are facing. Who's handling it better? Who's out of their league And who's going to crumble most? And come ready, go. Will this be a factor? Will getting the rules any one way be a factor? There's a lot to talk about, a lot to ask. And King of the Table 4 will be here before we know it. All right, guys. Take care.